the show where we catch you up on what the heck is happening.
Recently, QAnon supporters gathered to welcome back JFK Jr., who they falsely believed faked his own death and is now ready to return and be on the ballot with Trump in 2024. So let me get this straight. QAnon supporters are really upset about dead people voting, but dead people on the ballot? That's A-okay.
Speaking of things that don't make any sense, plans were drawn up for new windowless college dorms. The administration heard you. They get that students don't like that their furniture is being made by prisoners, so they thought, we have the next best thing, putting students in prisons.
Ironically, U.S. prisons are facing staffing shortages after many officers have quit due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Oh, what? And now we have qualms about arresting people for free labor?
I'm Marriya Schwarz.
And I'm Brooke Rees. Now let's catch you up on the news.
Chipotle is testing a new chicken recipe for the first time in its 28-year history. Let's hope that chicken recipe doesn't contain E. coli.
American Airlines canceled over 600 flights last week, citing both weather and staffing issues. See, this kind of problem does not happen with Spirit Airlines. With Spirit, if they experience any staffing issues, they simply ask for passenger volunteers to become the pilot.
Chris Pratt is set to voice Garfield in a new animated movie. I know we all hate Mondays, but maybe the enemy of our enemy is our friend.
More than 2,000 New York City firefighters went on medical leave protesting a new vaccine mandate. This has left a serious, dangerous lack of firefighters in the city. One could say it's been a dangerous mass exodus, much like, shouting fire in a crowded theater or, I guess in this case, shouting vaccine.
A leaky SpaceX toilet problem is forcing astronauts to wear backup undergarments. Rich guys who have to wear diapers to travel to space for luxury kind of gives a whole new definition to Pampers.
In Mexico, an ancient wooden Mayan canoe was discovered almost completely intact. Digging just one layer further, however, Captain Jack Sparrow and Will Turner were also found.
You didn't ask for it, but Peloton classes are coming to your next Delta flight, and we thought legroom was bad before.
Microsoft sweeps past Apple to become the world's most valuable company. Rumor has it the company memo to celebrate this amazing milestone simply said, well, how about them apples?
Tourists in China were caught on camera taunting white tigers inside their zoo enclosure. Clearly, Comedy Central Roast is desperate for new viewers.
Experts say that artificial intelligence is about to have very spooky real-world implications. I don't know about you guys, but I feel like this might be a teaser for the Inspector Gadget trilogy that we all deserve. You think?
Republican Senator Josh Hawley has stated that feminism has driven men to pornography and video games as a way to channel more traditional gender roles. To combat this stereotype that video games are just for men, Nintendo's Mario had this to say, "It's a me too."
COVID-19 origins may never be known, says U.S. intelligence agencies. Weird. That is the exact same thing that my neighbor Craig said after attending an open-mouth sneezing party while being unvaccinated, but he was being very safe, so strange.
Thank you so much for watching. We hope everyone had a spooky time on Halloween, as well as a spooky time watching the Virginia election. See you next time on The Catch Up. Bye.
Hey guys, so this is the story of how I went to the car shop a couple of days ago because my car was making a really weird noise. So just wanted to kind of run through that story with you guys. So I get there and the guy's like, "Oh, what's wrong?" And he's like, "What are you coming in for?" And I'm like, "Oh, easy. It's just making like a really weird like knocking sound underneath, like knock, knock, who's there?" Like anytime I go over a bump. And I was like, "That's kind of strange. I don't know if someone's living under there. Like, can you go look?" And he's like, "Yeah, absolutely. I'll go test drive it." So he test drive it and he comes back and he's like, "Well, I didn't hear that noise. No, knock, knock, who's there? But do you feel that like awful shaking when you drive?" And I was like, "Oh, yeah, isn't not supposed to do that?" And he's like, "No, that's the transmission. You know that, right?" And I was like, of course, that is the transmission. That's basic stuff. Everyone knows that. And he's like, so I'm going to go take a look at it. And I was like, perfect. I thought that's what we were doing all along. So he goes and he takes a look at it, and it's 2 hours later. And then he comes back, and he says, with complete uncertainty, he says, well, nothing's unsafe. And I say, okay, you don't sound very confident in that decision. He said, I'm going to go get you some things. And I said, what things? And he said, I'm going to go get you some things. And I said, I don't know what you mean by some things. And he said, I'm going to go get you some things. So then I wait another hour for some things. And he comes back. He doesn't have any things with him, but he does have a piece of paper. And he says, okay, here's what's broken on your car. And I say, okay. And he says, do you want to fix it? And I say, I don't know that I have that decision-making ability. Is it something that needs to be fixed? And he said, well, it's broken. And I said, but you said the car wasn't unsafe. So like, should I fix this? And he said, well, that's up to you. And I was like, well, it's broken. What does it do? And he says, it's the belt. And I say, of course, it needs to accessorize. I guess we should fix it. And then he says, okay. So I have an appointment in 3 weeks. To fix the belt. I don't know what that is.